I was single and going out a lot, drinking and dancing with my friends. One night there was a cute boy, and so I decided to date him. Started out nice, took me out once, met my friends, and hit it off. Turns out that he was a psycho, so we had to break up. Wait, maybe not. He buys me nice stuff. Wait, did he just threaten suicide? The situation's a lot more complicated than that. Okay, I'll break up with him.
All right, y'all are gonna have to strap yourselves in for this one. Get your strap on, get your drink, get comfortable, bitch. So, as you might have heard in the little intro song, I started dating this guy. We met at a club. First red flag that I always ignore, being the terrible person that I am, that we're trying to learn from our mistakes. Anyways, I met him at the club and he was alone, like by himself, went to the club, just like in the corner, prowling. And my best friend that I went with that night initially was like, did he come here alone? Like, that's kind of weird. And I think I commented on it. I told him, I was like, did you come here alone? Like, do you have any friends? And he was like, yeah, I was just kind of like looking for somebody, and I guess it was you. It was fate or whatever. So, we hang out, we dance, we kiss, whatever. Then the night ends, and he's like, oh, I think I worked the next day, or something happened that I didn't end up going with him. And I was like, hey, this could be like a potential like thing. Why not just take things slow or whatever? I'm cringy. Anyway, so I gave him my number and then just didn't talk to him for a couple days. Or I think I either he had my number. I didn't have his, so I was waiting on him to text me or something like that. Or I had his number in wrong or something weird. So he like ended up texting me, and I was like, hey, I didn't know. This is irrelevant. I just remembered it out of the blue. So we started kind of hanging out, going on dates, and he was super polite. Like, we went out like on real dates, and he paid, and he would open the car door, he would open the door, like he would be a gentleman or whatever. And he like, things were all right for a little bit, and then we would like, obviously, like, we met out drinking and dancing, so I like going out drinking and dancing, so we would do that all the time. And we would go with my best friend and stuff like that. And then things started to take a turn. So I think things started getting weird around, I journal, so I journaled about it. It's healthy. So, call him being alone in a club red flag number 1. Let's drink every time you see a red flag. Number 2 was he asked to be my boyfriend very fast. Or he asked me to be his girlfriend very fast. Like, I think after either the first or second date, he was like, can I call you babe? And I was like, I mean, yeah, okay. And that was to him, that was, will you be my girlfriend? And I was thinking just like, oh, he just wants to give me a nickname because I'm a fucking idiot. So, like, by the second date, he wanted me to be his girlfriend. Because he wanted me to change my status on Facebook. He was like, so you haven't changed it yet? And I was like, first of all, why are you stalking my Facebook? We're hanging out all the time. My Facebook? What the fuck? So, he kept pushing it. He was like, why haven't you put it on Facebook? Why haven't you made it official? Why haven't you put it on Facebook? I'm like, well, first of all, you don't have a Facebook. And he's like, well, I just created one so that you could. Red flag number 3, he didn't have social medias, like, at all. Or he had, like, maybe one. I don't know. It seemed like he had just created them. And he was like, oh, yeah, I just didn't seem the need to have any or whatever, because he's a psychopath. So we like dated really fast, and I even wrote about it. I was like, everything happened really fast, but it just kind of like felt right, you know, like everything is just like falling into line. I hate myself. You're 3 shots in if you're taking shots for every red flag. Then I journaled about, I would like, so the thing I did in this relationship rather than other ones is I would like try to nip it in the bud immediately. Like if something happened, I'd be like, that's toxic, that's manipulative, stop it, or like this is over. Basically. Like I would just say like, you're not gonna do that. You can't say that to me. You're not gonna talk to me like that. So he was perfect. Like everything was fine, you know, great. Except for the 3 red flags. And one night we were going into my house doing something, and then we brought up a story about, I was like, I love telling this story because it's fucking hilarious, but I was talking about how I went to Eugene and was puking behind a building because I got so drunk the night before at a friend's house, and the friend was a guy, just legal enough to drink, and also didn't even know that this man existed, the person I was dating. And he, as we're walking to the house, he's like, wait, you got drunk and passed out at your guy friend's house? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, did you, I don't know, like, did you do anything or whatever like that? And I was like, I've known this man, the friend, since middle school. So no? And he's like, well, you were drunk. How did you know nothing happened? And like basically accusing me, first of all, of sleeping with someone, which who cares? Like, it's none of your business anyway. Second of all, possibly accusing my friend of sexually assaulting me since I was drunk and was blaming it on me. So that's a fun little thing. My friend was there hearing it, and she was like, this is weird. He's kind of like getting defensive about her getting drunk at a guy friend's house that she still talks to or whatever. So he was weird about guys, basically. So he had an insecurity about me having guy friends, even though, like, females and males can have friendships. It's normal. It's not sexual. Things don't have to be sexual. Yes, sometimes it's harder when you're older and you try to develop a friendship, because then you're like, am I supposed to date this person? Do we want to date? But I don't know. For me, it's easier. I don't know about the other guy, but for me, I'm just like, that's my bro. This is cool. But sometimes they have other intentions. Most times. Red flag number 5. So we go to Target because date ideas. Haha. So we're going to Target. And previously, we both lived with our parents, so we couldn't exactly, like, we were adults, but we couldn't spend the night together in these houses because that's disrespectful, I think, anyway. So we had stayed in a hotel for 2 days, 2 nights, or whatever. 2 nights. 2 nights. But he dropped me off and picked me up, and it felt very like, I'm not responsible for myself, and I like routine. I love routine, and when the routine gets thrown off, I get thrown off. So being in a hotel and being dropped off, I didn't get to wash my face, I didn't get to do my night routine, I was just feeling gross already. And we went to when we were at Target, we were like looking around, you know, like seeing all this stuff. And previously I had mentioned that I needed like a winter jacket because winter was coming up. And Target had this super cute one that was like a fuzzy, you know, like one of those like the fluffy ones that people in Alaska wear. I almost said something that could have been offensive that I didn't know was offensive until recently, but I didn't say it. Anyways, fuzzy hood. And he was like, oh, I'll get this for you. It was like $50 fucking dollars, and I'm poor. He had money. So he was like, oh, I'll get this for you. And I was like, that's so sweet. Like, you don't have to do that, you know, whatever. I don't like people paying for me, you know, whatever. So we walk around the store, and he's like, hey, let's stay at another hotel. And I was like, no, I need to go home. I don't want to spend 3 days in a hotel because I like my routine. And I said that. I like communicated why. I was like, I don't want to do that because I like sleeping in my own bed sometimes. I would like to do that. And he's like, oh, okay. That's fine. nothing abnormal. We're looking around, and I'm just like, okay, blah, 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 like looking at markers, looking at pens, looking at this and that. Out of fucking nowhere, this boy goes, actually, since you're not going to stay at the hotel with me, I'm not buying you this jacket. And I literally ooped. And I ooped. I was like, okay. Like, I was, okay. At first I was so mad that I was like, I'll buy it for myself then. Like, give it to me. But then walking around, I was like, fuck, it's fucking $50. I could, but I have bigger priorities to buy. So I was like, fuck off. Like, what? Hello? What kind of fucking manipulation tactic? And then, like, silent treatment followed. I was too tired to fight. And then I talked about having to set more boundaries. Because, you know, everything that happens when they do something wrong, I feel like it's my fault. Toxic behavior issues. I just think everything is my fault. So, that's fun. I hate myself. I'm home, right? Just got off work or something, was sleeping, and was just so tired. And my parents didn't know, obviously, because, like, we seemed very happy, and I thought at the moment we were pretty happy. So I didn't, like, think anything of it. He comes in, like, they let him into the house. He comes into my room and puts the fucking jacket on my bed and then throws $50 on top of that. And I was like, thank you. Red flag number 6. I lost count. So he tried to buy me a car once. We were driving back from Portland, and he was like, we like drove by a dealership, or we drove by something. He was like, what do you have to do? Or do you have any time restraints? And I was like, no. And he's like, we should stop by that dealership. And I was like, why? Did you want to look at cars for yourself? Do you want to trade in your car? And he's like, no, I want to get something for you. And I was like, no, you're not. Well, that's very sweet of you, is what I said. That's very sweet of you, but I'm not going to let you buy me a car. No, you're not going to buy me a car. First of all, it's a fucking car that's expensive. Second of all, you could hold that over me. Trust issues. I don't want that on my conscience anywhere. So he gets mad that I, like, turned him down, and I was like, okay, fine, you can buy me something. And we went to Nike, and he bought me, or not Nike, but like a Nike store in Kaiser Station or whatever, and he bought me shoes. And I was like, thanks, this is great, I love these shoes, I'm gonna use them all the time, or whatever. This is when you thought shit was crazy. It didn't get crazy. He was just stupid. Then it got crazy. I forgot this essential part, but he had talked about before how he, like, had suicidal tendencies. He was like, oh, I was gonna kill myself earlier, and then I met you, and you, like, saved me. And I was like, no, I didn't. Like, I told him straight, red flag number what? And I was like, no, you saved yourself. Like, I didn't do that. You can't put that on me. I'm not a lifesaver. I'm not a fucking angel. But he always, like, claimed. He was like, oh, you're an angel. Like, whatever. So we were at the gym one night. And right as soon as we get there, he showed up in his car. I showed up in my car because I was driving my friend. So I was in mine. He was in his. And we met, like, we met there, and I was like, hey, how's it going, whatever, just so you know, I can't hang out with you after, I just want to let you know that, so you know, like, hang your hopes up or anything, we're just here to gym, thought you would want to, because you had been going for a little bit. And he's like, oh, okay, or maybe he didn't hear it, I don't fucking know, I don't remember. So we go to the gym, we hang out, work out, and at the very end, he's like, hey, let's go get a hotel. I was like, no, I can't. I'm picking up my friend at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and then I have to go to work. And he's like, well, what do you mean? Like, I was like, what do you mean? What do I mean? Me and my friend are going to the airport to pick up my other friend who's flying in at 6 a.m. because that's when his flight is, and we're going to pick him up, and then we're going to take him home, and then we're going to work because that's what we do. He's like, well, can I come? He always invited himself. I don't like when people do that. It's fucking rude. You don't invite yourself to things, especially if you're dating them, because like, it's if they wanted you to be there, they would invite you. Yeah, sometimes I forget to invite people, but like, it was a close friend thing. That's what I told him. I was like, no, it's just close friends. Like, you can meet him when we go out that night, maybe. And, you know, we'll chill. He's like, oh, it's a guy? I was like, yep, yeah, yep. It's a male. It's a man. That I also knew since, him I knew since elementary school, but middle school is when we like blossom their friendship or whatever. I don't understand why you have to go. I don't understand why your friend can't go by herself. As if he didn't know that my friend didn't drive. And I said that, I was like, think about what you just said. Think about the way that you just said that. You want blah, 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 friend to drive to Portland? And he doesn't say anything. I'm like, she doesn't drive. She doesn't fucking drive. I'm not saying that like angry, like she doesn't fucking drive. I'm just saying that she doesn't fucking drive. She can't drive to Portland and pick up the friend. That's why I'm going. And also I wanted to go to see my friend. He had never met this friend, mind you. And he goes, I just don't understand why you have to go pick up your stupid friend. And I got so mad because you don't know my friend. You don't know my shit. Like, I barely know you. I had only been dating him for 2 months. Like, this was 2 months in. And I was like, so we were sitting on the little couch. I was so fucking mad. And I, like, completely moved over to the other side of the sofa and was like, don't fucking talk to me. Don't talk to me. Like, get away from me. I'm done talking to you. And he was like, I think he tried to say something. He was like, wait, what, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, don't fucking talk to me. And he walks out and left and stormed off. I was like, thank fucking God, like, leave me alone. I'm just, I had adrenaline after the gym, so that was the double. So, then I take my friend home, I go home, text him, and I'm like, don't talk to me, don't call me, don't text me, unless it's going to be an apology. Because you called my friend stupid. Obviously, I didn't say why you're going to apologize. I just said, don't talk to me unless it's an apology. Left my phone on my bed, and then I took a bath because I was fucking stressed. Self-care is essential. I needed a break. So I took a bath, probably like an hour or something, and I'm chilling, and I'm like, okay. I'm going to come back to my phone, and I'm going to see a text where it's going to say, I'm so sorry, like, that was out of line. I shouldn't have said that. Your friend's not stupid. You can go. We can work on this, you know. Like a healthy person would do, or like a healthy relationship would try to work. I come back to like 8 phone calls, 8 missed phone calls, like 25 texts, just shit. And it's like, why would I apologize? What are you talking about? Why aren't you answering your phone? I'm gonna keep blowing your phone up until you text me back. Or until you block, and like, until you text me or block me. So that's not crazy. And he's like, okay, you're right, I'm sorry. And then, like, immediately after was like, you can't just ignore me like this. We have to talk about it. Blah, 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 this and that and this. Then he fucking says, I should have killed myself. LOL. LOL. You make me want to die. Thanks, Maddie. I should have killed myself before I met you. What? What the fuck? What? And why did I stay with him? There are so many points that you're probably like, why the fuck are you so stupid? Me too, bitch. That's why I'm better single. Anyways, so he says I'm gonna kill myself. And I send him the fucking suicide hotline. And I'm like, you need help. Here's the hotline. Don't put that shit on me. I'm not dealing with this right now. This is bullshit. Like, just fuming. I'm like, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? Like, I was mad for obvious reasons. I was so fucking mad. And I was like, sending him all these like, I just justifiably, like, I this is all I'm sending you. Get help. I can't be your savior. I'm not your fucking angel. I'm a person who deals with shit. Like, you can't put this on me. Deal with your own shit. And at that moment, I was like, we're fucking breaking up. Like, I know we're breaking up. But I can't remember why I didn't do it that night. I think that I had wanted to do it in person or over the phone or something. Or, I don't know. I can't remember why I didn't do it just right then. Should have, but I didn't. But anyway, the next day, I had to be up at like 6 a.m. to go to a fucking airport. So I go and I'm just like, so here's the motherfucking tea. I'm breaking up with this boy. And tell my friends why, and they're like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, he tried to threaten to kill himself, so, I'm gonna break up with him. So I think I either initially was gonna meet him in person or something, and then I wasn't going to, because I picked someone up from the airport, had to drive him down, had to get ready for work, had to go to work for 8 hours, and then fucking not meet this person in person, because if they're threatening to kill themselves, why would I want to meet them in person? They might kill me or be crazy. So I called him on my break and I was like, yo, this shit ain't gonna work. Like, this, it ain't it, chief. Like, but hello, you threatened to kill yourself. And he tried, you know, as abusers and manipulators do, he was like, oh, it was just a dark humor. That's what he said. I forgot the text. He was like, I'm so sorry. Like, that was just, I meant, it was a joke. Like, I shouldn't have gone that far. You're right. But it was just a joke. I'm like, no. It's not a fucking joke, bitch. So he fucking is like on the phone and he's like, oh, you know, I've been like under a lot of stress. Like, I haven't been sleeping well. And I'm just like, I'm going through a lot. And like, it was just a joke. Like, it's just dark humor. And I was like, no. You're making excuses like an abuser does. And he got mad at me. He started getting mad because I kept everything he was saying. I was like, that's an abuser thing. You're being abusive right now. And he would be like, you're fucking fine. And hung up on me. Thank God. And then, so I like blocked him on everything. Or I think I either did block him on everything or just like put my phone on sleep mode and just like went back to work. And then like would check my phone and be like, you can't give up on me. Blah, blah, like just blowing up my phone. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to block this bitch. Like, we out of here. But multiple times I've done this where I like either block them and unblock them, or I just don't block them yet and let them explain themselves or yell at me and finalize why I broke up with them, you know, giving more, like, throwing nails in the coffin, right? And like, thankfully Facebook still has messages. And he was like, because I talked about him being abusive, and he was like, I never laid a finger on anybody. You mean so much to me, blah, blah, blah. I would never say anything like that to get your attention. He was saying he was doing it to get my attention. I was like, that's what abusers do? I'm not new here. Like, hello? And I never laid a finger on him. So I was like, just because physical abuse isn't apparent, emotional abuse is just as serious. That's where this was leading. Because if they're willing to like mentally abuse you, what else are they willing to do down the road? You don't fucking know. You don't fucking know. And he's like, how can I prove to you that that's not what I meant? I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I accept your apology. And I'm sorry too. We tried, but we argued so much. You have some work, like you have shit to work on, but it's not going to be for me. Do it on your next relationship. Like, work for that one. And he's like, you don't have to do this. I would have changed for you if you told me about it at least. And I said, I shouldn't have to tell you not to threaten suicide. Same way you would have left me if I talked to a guy more than you. I think that was because he was like, oh, you're talking to all these people and I'm going to leave you if you keep doing it or whatever. I just like talking to people. And then the fun part was he, you know, when people are like, well, if you really loved me, blah, blah, blah. He was like, did you really not love me then? And I was like, don't ask me that. You'll hold a place in my heart, but it's more as a lesson learned than a loved one. And he's like, I gave you chances. I don't understand why you can't give me another chance. I was like, because I'm not you. Well, It's called love. And I said, that's not the love I fuck with then, because I'm not doing sacrifices. I don't do that whole shit. He's like, just give me one more chance, blah blah blah. You didn't love me if you don't even have a place in your heart for this, blah blah blah. Missed a call. If you ever change your mind, I'm right here. Whatever. Fucking, I block him. And then, because he just like kept blowing up my phone and blowing up all my socials. And he fucking pops up again, because I think I blocked and then unblocked him, because I'm a dumb bitch. Put a fucking sign on my head. Dumb bitch juice. You know what it is. So, I hadn't talked to him for about, I think it was like a week. Yeah, it's about a week. Hadn't talked to him, hadn't seen him. We were on other sides of the town. My hair's falling out. I'm stressed. So you thought the story was crazy before. So he texts me, messages me on Facebook. And he goes, I've been in meth addiction recovery for a week now. Just seen what happened and wanted to let you know I didn't mean anything I said. So sorry. Sad face. And, oh, bitch. I was like, are you saying you were on meth during our relationship? I said, at the end, yeah, and it was really weird. I blacked out and didn't remember much. And I'm like, what the fuck? I, like, got this. And I was like, what do I even, what the fuck? Hello? And I said, that's wild. Not sure what else to say, but I'm glad you're getting help. Because I'm just too nice of a person, and I'm just kind of like, good for you, bud. Cool. Good on you. You got recovery. You got your rich parents to get you into some rehab. Good for you. And he goes, right? Like, what the fuck happened? I'm so confused, but I'm glad to be sober. Been sleeping for a week, damn. What I think he assumed out of that was he was gonna be like, oh, I don't even remember, like, telling you I was gonna kill myself out of, like, a fight or whatever, because I was just, like, so hopped up on meth that I just didn't even know what I was doing, you know? And me, I'm just supposed to be like, oh, shit, baby. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me take you back. Let me help you work on your meth addiction. That's so much better than you telling me that you were going to kill yourself. That's what he wanted. That's what I think he wanted. And I was just like, that's some shit. Scene left on red. Should have left him on red. I don't even know. I knew that in the past he had talked about how he like dated somebody who was like in a like trap house or whatever. Like he called it a trap house. It's in fucking Salem. You're just in a drug house. Like there's no such thing as a fucking trap house. So he was just in a drug house and got involved in meth. And I, for some reason, thought that was years ago. And like, I guess he went to a party where somebody offered him coke, and then the coke like triggered him to want meth again. I wouldn't have known any of this because he didn't tell me shit. Not that I would have stayed if he had meth. He was like, if he would have been like, oh, sorry, like, I think I have a meth addiction again. I'd just be like, gotta go! Gotta blast! Fucking Jimmy Neutron's calling my name. My oven's on. I left it on a week ago. I gotta go. It's in fucking Mexico. I gotta get my oven. And then, that was the craziest part. The kind of like end of it all was he was supposed to go to the Travis Scott concert with me on December like 28th or 29th. I think it was just 29th because it was like New Year's Eve or whatever. And obviously I'm not going with him because I broke up with him. So I invited with someone else and I put the like Travis Scott concert on my story and whatever. That night, I get home. I get a call from a New York number. And I don't answer. I see it. It's like 1 a.m. And I'm like, I'm fucking tired. I think I worked the next day. Like I was supposed to work the next day or something. Either way, I wasn't going to answer a fucking New York call. I barely answer my mom's calls. That's a lie. I answer my mom's calls. I barely answer my work's calls. So I see a New York number and I'm not going to answer it. I don't get a voicemail or anything. Like if it's that important, you're going to leave a voicemail. So I get that. And then I get a fucking text from this New York number. And it says, used you for sex. That's it. Just know you didn't hurt me and I hope your soul burns in hell where it belongs. And it was 2 a.m. and I was like, who is this? Carrier alert. If you no longer want to receive messages or calls from this number or want to block the number, please reply with AV stop. So he got a fucking number. He was like loaded, so he probably like bought a new number or whatever. Or like found some number on whatever. And decided to text me that I didn't even hurt him. Because that's what sane people do. They tell people on random numbers that they didn't hurt them, that they weren't bothered, that I didn't even care about you because you were just like a sex object or whatever. That's sane. That's normal. That's not a hurting person who is crazy and wants to kill himself and wants to manipulate people into staying in relationships that aren't healthy. I wish I had a good ending to this story. But there's not. He exists still, and I don't see him. I don't see him anywhere. So that's nice. How many red flags did you count? How drunk are you if you took shots because of it? How many times will I get in bad relationships and meet bad people before I fucking learn my lesson? Find out next week on Dumb Bitch Juice.